Hello everybody, Raven Knight here, coming at you with yet another update video. And got a lot to talk about. The time you're watching this, I will probably be getting ready for work, or I will be at work, because my vacation ends after Sunday. So just know that this coming week is going to be very busy, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So lots to talk about today, lots and lots to talk about, but it's all very important, so stay with me. For starters, you know the shill. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a like and a comment down below. I always read the comments. Don't forget to check out the Teespring store if you'd like to help support the channel and purchase some merchandise. I don't make much money off of YouTube, honestly. I try to, but until I can make more money, this is kind of just a side thing. If you want to see me on YouTube more frequently, making more content, your support is very much appreciated, so please don't forget to help and support the channel. Thank you guys so much. Let's get on with it. So, first of all, spring break has started for Lark, so that means he's going to get some time off of work. But my break has officially ended, so I'm going back into work starting today. And I've got a brand new schedule, because it turns out the management found out I can not only serve at the restaurant, but I can also host and bus and all these other things. So they've changed my schedule so that I'm serving some, hosting some, busing some, dishwashing some, doing whatever they need me to do. And while it's good to feel wanted, it's also wearing me down. And so my desire to leave has never been stronger. I'm looking into ways that I can do that, and one way that I'm thinking of is going back into substitute teaching. What I would really like to do is, over the next 2 months, like 2.5 months, I try looking for a small summer job, something a little bit simpler with a more open schedule for me. Maybe even something part-time. It doesn't have to be long, just part-time. Maybe working as a lifeguard, or maybe a lawn trimmer for a local golf course. We got plenty of those around here. Something that'll help me just make a little bit of ends meet, so that I don't have to keep going to a job that has me working a schedule that keeps me from having any kind of life outside of it, which really, really sucks. Because what they do is, you might think, well, don't they give you time off during the day? Yes, they do, but they give me time off during the morning and afternoon hours. But they have me come in around 4 or 5 when most of my friends and community are off of their jobs. I am just starting mine, and that means that I have very little time to associate with or be around my friends or family or anything like that, so it really hurts. So what I'd like is more like a 9-to-5 job, a job where I'm working at the same time everyone else is, and when I get off, everyone else is off, so I can afford to socialize, and I will have my evenings free to work on stuff for the channel when I'm not socializing. So that would be ideal. I just need to find a good job that can help with that, and then once the fall rolls around, I might go back into substitute teaching. That would get me back into the classroom. I'd be able to familiarize with myself a little bit better, and that way when I do go over to teach in Japan, which is still my long-term goal, I'll be more familiar with the classroom again and be more prepared for that. So all kinds of stuff going on in the personal life. But hey, let's face it, y'all aren't here to hear about me personally, right? Y'all don't want to know about the state of my depression and stuff like that. That's not what you want. You want to hear about how the channel's doing. So let's talk about that. First of all, For Honor content. Well, I'd like to go ahead and start things off by grading the new Oromusha execution. This execution, I want to like it. I do want to like it, but there's things about it that bother me. First of all, the kicking thing. People don't realize this because they watch a lot of kung fu movies, this spinning kick thing. Either the kick is going to knock them over, or it's going to push them away. It's not going to spin them. To spin them, that means that the person has to be allowing the spin. They have to be spinning and then twirling, but also maintaining their balance enough to stand upright. And if they have enough balance that they're standing upright, they wouldn't allow themselves to spin like this. So I think this is a little silly. I think what would happen is after the first kick and then the follow-up kick, they'd fall on their butt or fall on their face, whichever. But they just keep spinning like a top like this is a little silly. Then he follows up with a stab into the side and then the chest, both of which would kill, and then pulls out, and that's the final blow. I will honestly give this a 7 out of 10. I think it's a solid 7 out of 10. It's a little silly, a little goofy, but it's still deadly, technically. I think that the spinning is a little bit much. The spinning is funny, don't get me wrong, but I don't think you would get that many kicks where the guy just willingly spins himself around for you. And I know people are going to say, oh, come on, he's worn out from the fight. He's not able to put up much of a resistance. But that's exactly my point. If he's that worn out from the fight, wouldn't the kicks knock him over, not just spin him? That's just me, though. Anyway, that's my grading of that. Also, Revna the Berserker is almost done. I'm almost done with her Legend video. I will have that up, hopefully, this week. For Honor and Glory is back in production. I'm working on the next chapter. It's going to be a very emotional chapter, but we're going to see a major change and a little hint of something to come. And also, there's going to be a Lord Ramiel Lord video on the way. I'm going to be doing a lore video on Ramiel. I'm going to read over his whole thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read his information, his story as it is. I'm going to tell you what I think about it, and then I'm going to do another video comparing Ramiel to Ruth. Because Ruth is my Warden character, Ramiel is Ubisoft's character, and I want to do a little comparison on their stories to see which one I think is better written. And I won't do it just from a biased perspective. I may like Ruth more, but I will have Lark discuss it. I will have Hannah discuss it, because Hannah is very impartial on this. She doesn't care that much about For Honor, so she's not going to judge one way or the other. She's going to say, here's my honest thoughts, so I'm going to have her step in. I'm going to get a lot of outside stuff to talk about what they think is better, Ramiel's story or Ruth's story, so look forward to that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. From For Honor content, Dead by Daylight content, I do still make that. I have made my own killer. Originally, it was a picture that Hannah drew kind of my female persona if she were like a slasher killer. But I've taken that and kind of turned it into its own DBD killer called The Mother. And I've made her perks. I've made her power. I just need to make a bio. If I make that, would y'all like to see a video about her? Would you like to hear me talk about this made-up killer character? I don't mind. Just let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. Also, the next analysis video will be on Sadako, or the Onryo, if you will. And you're probably saying, wait a second, Raven. I thought the nurse was next. The nurse. I am so terrible at the nurse that I actually decided to skip her for now, but I will come back to her. I promise. I'm going to do Sadako. I'm going to do this next survivor, which I think is Nia. And then after Nia, I'll go back and do the nurse. Just bear with me. I hate nurse. And I know people are going to say, no, she's one of the best killers. She is. But I find that her learning curve is incredibly hard, and I am going to be terrible with her. Just saying. But I'll do it. Just know it's going to be terrible. I've also got a video that I'm planning called What is the Entity? Where I analyze what the entity is, what it's based on, and what I think about it overall. Do I think that the entity is a well-written figure? Is it like a god? Is it a Lovecraftian thing? Is it an eldritch thing? Is it just a big spider? Who knows? So I look forward to making that video. And then I have another video related to DBD called Writing Evil, how DBD approaches the concept of terror and horror. I think DBD does something very creative in designing its killers and creating evil. And I don't just mean from the killers either, the survivors too. I think the game itself portrays something about evil that we don't always think about, so I look forward to making that video. But that will take time, so bear with me as I put that together. Alright, so other than For Honor and Dead by Daylight, what else am I working on? Well, Rainbow Six Siege hasn't done anything seriously bad yet for me to make another Rainbow Six cringe video, but trust me, once they release something new, you can bet I will be on top of that in no time. I like making the Rainbow Six cringe videos, because even though I may be terrible at the game, let's face it, Rainbow Six Siege has been going downhill rapidly. And I don't think that's a coincidence either. A lot of the people who used to play that game incessantly, who used to make tons of content about that game, Russian Badger, Siege Tales, Bosun Bunch, a lot of them are really stepping back from the game. Now, Siege Tales, in his defense, said that he's been asked to do a special video for Rainbow, but I haven't seen it yet, and he's been gone for, I think, months now. I don't know if he's really doing it or if he's given up on that or what's happened there, but Bosun officially announced he was done with Rainbow, at least for the time being. Russian Badger hasn't made a video about Rainbow in forever, and last time he did, he seemed very miserable with it, so I don't think that's going to happen. But regardless of that, I still like talking about what they're doing wrong and what they're doing right from a writing and lore perspective, so I can at least do that. Once they release another content update or something like that, expect me to jump on it. And I'll talk about what's good. I'm not just out to look for the bad. I want to see the good too. Also, I hope you guys enjoyed my Halo video, the Halo Episode 1 discussion. Let's face it, guys, I'm not much of a Halo fan. I'm learning the lore. I'm enjoying the lore. I'm getting better at it. I'm playing through the games, trying to really learn about it, reading some of the books. I like Halo. But the fact that I'm not as huge of a fan, and even I can see some of these problems, says a lot about what's wrong with the show. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. I got a little bit of hate for it from a few people, but nothing serious. So I think most people are in agreement with me on that. And if y'all want to see me do more videos where I break down TV shows or movies like that, I will definitely give it my best, as long as I can get access to it.
危険に巻き込んだことだ。そうだった。子供が泣かない世界。 それを作りたくて俺はスパイになったんだ。
And before y'all say, Raven, you should do the rest of the TV series of Halo, even if I wanted to do that, which I really don't, I only did the first episode because the first episode is available on YouTube, and I can easily download that and use it. The rest, I would have to get a Paramount account unless someone pirates the videos. And I'm not really interested in aiding in piracy unless it's the pirate in For Honor, so we'll have to see, but for now, I'm not planning on it. The Prince of Egypt video, the final video in the Prince of Egypt analysis, is on pause. I'm having to put it on a temporary short hiatus. I'm still going to finish it. I have every intention of finishing it, but I've got a lot of stuff going on right now, and with Easter on its way, I've decided to just let it sit for a while. I will come back to it and work on it soon. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten it, but I also want to know, do y'all really want to see the ending of that one? I only ask because it's being put on BitChute instead of YouTube. I'm wondering if people aren't kind of going, we don't really like that as much. We don't really enjoy that. And if you don't enjoy it, that's fine. It just tells me what I can and can't do in the future. And finally, Raven's Writing Room, how to properly handle exposition is my next Raven's Writing Room. One question that I've been gotten asked a lot is, how do you handle exposition or explaining a world to your audience? It's one thing to build a world or to build a lore or to build a mythos. How do you explain it to your audience in a natural way? That's an excellent question, and it does need to be addressed, because one thing that I noticed really bad about the Halo TV series episode is they handled exposition terribly. The exposition was horribly done. So we're going to talk about how to better do that in a natural way. I look forward to that video. And before we close, I want to give a brief shout out to my artist friends Hannah and the artist Jay, who've just been continuously adding awesome art for my thumbnails and for my stories at large. They're both really awesome, and it was actually kind of funny. As you know, Hannah likes to draw lots of pictures of me as a chick in different outfits. These are just some of the new ones scrolling across the screen. But even Jay got involved and he drew one. He was inspired by the Batman animated series. The fact that the Penguin had a couple of henchwomen. One of them was named Raven. And so he couldn't resist drawing this. We had some fun with it, had some laughs, but thought I'd shout them out because they do so much good work for the channel. Wanted to share some of what they draw. You probably see these pictures used in a lot of my thumbnails or my art or just stories in general. Thought I'd share them. Jay's the one who drew the Spartan persona of me, and Hannah's the one who draws a lot of the chibis and clayers that you see. Anyway, guys, just give them some love. Now, for the last part of the video, I want to talk about this because it is a big part of my life. It's a big part of what's coming up soon. I wanted to share this. So, I hope y'all saw my recent Death Diary entry. It was the Easter entry. In that, Death talks about the death and resurrection of Jesus. And if you couldn't tell, that is very much connected to what's coming up this coming Sunday, Easter. So, why do I want to talk about Easter? Well, it is a precious holiday for me, first of all. But it also has to do with something that I talked about in my last stream. In my recent stream on For Honor, I talked about the concept of love and romance, how I view love. One thing that I kind of touched on, but I didn't go too much into, is love is shown through sacrifice. Here's the thing. I want to make this clear, because if you didn't watch my stream, I want to say this for the record. It's not, when you write romance, when you write love, you need to understand something about love that I think is very, very crucial. Love is not the same thing as lust. The idea of love at first sight, no, that's a myth. It is lust at first sight. Lust is the desire for someone's physical beauty or what they have or what they can give you. Lust is all about what you can take from that. Love is about what you want to give up for them. Love is about, I would gladly give of myself to you. I would gladly give what I have for you. I would give my time. I would give my energy. I would give my money. I would give myself to you. In fact, the Bible says this in John 3:16, the most famous verse, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Not that he demanded something of us, he gave. And in John 15:12-13, this is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no other form than this, that you lay down your life for your friends. Those are very clear-cut instructions on how to love someone. Lust is saying, wow, you are beautiful. I can't wait to have sex with you. Lust is saying, wow, you have a beautiful figure. I'd love to take pictures of that and lust over it. But love is saying, I want to know you. I want to be with you. So some people like to, you know what? there's no question. When I was in college, I was made fun of because I'm a virgin, because I have not had sex with anyone. I'm saving that for marriage. And people say that's a prudish idea. Like, oh, dude, you really just saving it? Wow, that's really old-fashioned. Well, I think that when you love somebody, you make that sacrifice for them. You take that time. You are patient, because to me, there is no better way to show you love someone than to tell them, I waited for you. I gave up pleasure that I could have taken for you, because I wanted to make sure that when you and I met, when you and I finally understood we were meant to be together, this was the moment that we came together. Love is shown through self-sacrifice. Love is shown through giving of yourself. Love is shown through patience. Love is shown through all of these forms. You don't even have to be Christian to recognize these things. If you watch superheroes or anime or things like that, where there's a hero who saves others at his own detriment, that is showing a love for those people, putting them before yourself. That is the essence of love. You love others. And Easter is all about love. Easter is all about God loving humanity so much that he gave his son so that we might have eternal life. People like to make fun of Christianity a lot. In fact, you notice that whenever Easter or Christmas rolls around, the jokes and the vitriol becomes a little bit stronger. That's why I've already received a few attacks lately because of my faith. I don't care about that. What I want to say is that whether you're a Christian or not, I think the message of love remains the same. And I want to make this very clear for you aspiring writers out there, or for people who just want to better understand relationships or love, or what it means to love someone. What does love look like? I'm going to explain it like this. I know I've already said it, but I want to explain it again. Lust is not love. Lust is what you can take from someone else. Lust is, you're attractive, I want to flaunt that in front of others to show how awesome I am through your appearance. Or lust is, I want to have sex with that because it is so gorgeous. But lust is temporary. Lust fades as soon as the next shiny thing crosses your path. That's why when you see a lot of celebrity marriages where the spouses are both incredibly attractive, when all they did was lust for each other, soon their bodies aren't going to matter. Soon their appearances aren't going to matter. Soon they're both going to be drawn in by the next shiny, pretty person, and they're going to say, ooh, yeah, you're so much more attractive than that last guy. I used up that last guy or that last girl. I have no more time for them. Lust is fleeting. Love is eternal. Love is something that you say, I want to give myself to you. I want to make sacrifices for you. One thing that I found very interesting is that my parents had no interest in YouTube or cartoons or anime or anything like that. But when I expressed interest in starting a YouTube channel, they asked me about it. They talked to me about it. They wanted to know more about what I did. When I talked about storytelling in TV shows, cartoons, and movies and stuff like that, they wanted to know more about it, because they loved me enough to have an interest in what I was interested in. My father, you want to know the first date my father took my mother on? This is a true story. My father told my mom when they were planning to go out on their first date, hey, there's a fun run coming up, and I always run it. There's like this sort of 4-mile run that I go on, and I always go on it. Would you like to go on it with me? And my mom said, I've never gone on a run like that. And he said, well, tell you what, let's meet up this Saturday and we can go on a run and then maybe get some dinner afterwards. My mom thought he was joking, but when he showed up that day, he was wearing his running clothes. And they went running. And my mom had never run that far before, but she tried. And you know what? She found it was interesting. She found it was entertaining. But more than anything, she liked being around Dad. So she did something she wasn't used to, did something that was new for her. She got fit. She got excited for it. And soon it became a matter of they both wanted to do things for and with each other. My dad loved sailing boats. Mom had never been on a sailing boat before, but she tried for him. You know? Both of them were very active in the church. Both of them grew with each other spiritually. They gave their time, energy, and passion to one another, and through that built a long-lasting relationship. That's the difference between love and lust. So when you're writing romance in your characters, I want you to ask yourself, do the characters love each other because it's convenient? Do they love each other because they're both hot and attractive? Do they love each other because the plot just demands that they like each other? Or do they like each other because they've naturally learned how to come together? The two have learned how to grow because of one another. The two have shown enough chemistry that you could believe that they have had time together, had an experience together, become more than what they were before because of the other. That's usually a sign that there's love. Since Easter is the holiday about love, the greatest love, I thought that I would share a little bit about my thoughts on the matter. But hey, take what you want from me. I'm just a hopeless romantic. In any case, thank you guys for watching this pretty long update video, but I hope that y'all enjoyed it, and I hope that y'all have a great rest of your week. I hope that you look forward to the videos that I release, and if I don't hear from you before then, have a wonderful Easter, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.